again, guys. You might notice behind me, one of my heads is missing his helmet because, I was admiring my Al Oliver signed, souvenir helmet here. And it got me thinking, what'd be nice? It'd be nice to look through my 1969 top set. Now, the 1969 top set has some things that you might not be familiar with. I know I learned a lot more about it over the last few years, so I wanted to share that with you and show you. I have a pretty amazing collection of 69 cards. We'll start off with the box that the cards came in. This is what the packs came in, this box here, and it's a pretty nifty box with the players in the circles. So that's what the vending box looks like. Love getting, the old boxes and wrappers when I can get my hands on them. And, for any set, it's always nice to have the key players from that year for me. For instance, let's look at the MVPs in 1969 were Willie McCovey and Harmon Killebrew. And the rookies of the year were Ted Sizemore and Lou Piniella. And of course, my man Al Oliver was a rookie, and he came in second in the Rookie of the Year category. And this is signed by him and Richie Hebner, who was a third baseman for the Pirates. And they played on that 70s Lumber Company team. They were part of the Lumber Company. I still remember they had a poster, a promotional piece with them all lined up with their bats, the Lumber Company. And it was also Doc Ellis's rookie card in this set. And you're probably aware that Doc Ellis is the only guy to have ever thrown a no-hitter while tripping on acid. And they did a documentary about it, and it's called No No. If you want to check it out, I think it's on Netflix. And of course, I've shown this before, but this is Doc Ellis the year before in 1968. You can see him all decked out there in a beautiful suit, and that's me and my mom, and he and Nellie King. Nellie King was a pitcher for the Pirates in the 50s. I think he played like 2 years, but he became a broadcaster, and so they used to go to Vandergrift, Pennsylvania. There was a kind of a parade and they included the Pirates, and you could get their autographs. So those two signed my stroller. Now, I don't still have that. I don't know what my mom ever did with it. But anyway, just a beautiful Doc Ellis. I got this when I was younger. It's one of the few ones I ever sent in for grading, and it got an 8. So I was pretty pleased with that. It was also Bob Watson's rookie card in this set. And Bobby Bonds, and Raleigh Fingers, and this guy Jim Rooker. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I got to hang out with him at Pirate Spring Training Camp one year. It was Nolan Ryan's second year, and 1969 was the year of the Miracle Mets. This is a 5, but man, this thing's beautiful. It's perfectly centered. It presents great, vibrant colors. I don't know. I think a 5 might have been a little strict on that one. Frank Robinson. Here's an autographed Billy Williams. Here's my Mickey Mantle. This is one I had sent in after having for years. Got a 6. I mean, it's okay. It's a little off center, but I love it. This is a Willie Mays, but this is the O-Pee-Chee version. I actually don't have the regular Topps version. The Peachy cards are harder to find, so I don't mind having that one. Hank Aaron. Brooks Robinson. Now, before I move on with the regular issue cards, there were a few, and I think this was due to a printing defect or error of some sort. There were a few that had white letter versions. You see on these cards, they had 2 different colors on the names. See? So if we take a look at the Mickey Mantle, you'll see that's the yellow version. That's the common one. And then they had a white version. You can see there his name is in white. And these are rare. I always find them beat up. I mean, this is a low grade, but you usually find them really beat, and most of them are drastically off center. Um, so hard to find a really nice one, but I'm happy to own any copy of this card. It's a pricey card. They made them. There were a few players that like this. Gaylord Perry was one. That's his. Paul Casanova. I know there's one for Wes Parker. Actually, been having my eye on that. Something else in this set is they had these 4-in-1 test issue stickers that a lot of people don't know about. I have several of these. So let's go back to the regular cards now. Here's the regular Gaylord Perry. Louis Tiant. I just love this card. Willie Horton. John Hiller. John Hiller at one time held the single saves record, and he won Comeback Player of the Year one year. I think he had a bad heart attack or something, and ended up coming back and playing longer. And Mickey Stanley. These guys all made up that great Tigers team. What else we have? We have an autographed Grant Jackson card. Reggie Jackson rookie. Oh, seeing double. Another Reggie Jackson rookie. It was a Sparky Lyles rookie. It was a Craig Nettles rookie, and they had two versions of this. This is signed by him, but see that loop? They have a loop and a non-loop version of this card. Every once in a while, you'll find that Topps has these kind of quirky variations, and so most people, when they put the set together, they consider, you know, to have both versions for a complete set. Amos Otis's rookie. Johnny Bench's second card. Jerry Koosman. Bobby Cox. Who's this? This is Ken Brett. And this guy here, this is an error card. And it was never corrected, so it doesn't carry any kind of premium, but that's actually the Bat Boy. They took a picture of the Bat Boy by accident. And here's a Del Unser autographed. What else do we have? Beautiful, beautiful Tom Seaver. Pete Rose. Johnny Bench, All-Star. Bob Gibson. Steve Carlton. Here's a non-autographed Billy Williams. Manny Sanguillen. Probably the second best catcher of the 70s behind Johnny Bench. He's a really good defensive catcher and a good hitter. He was known to be a good bad ball hitter. He would go after anything. He was a clutch hitter, too. I remember watching him, I think it was Game 2 of the '79 World Series when they brought him back, and he was at the end of his career, and they used him as a pinch hitter, and he won that game. Mark Belanger. Smooth fielding shortstop right there. Don Sutton. He was a very popular and good pitcher when I was growing up. I remember him doing, he was on one of the children's programs when I was young. Bob Veal. Vada Pinson. Claude Osteen. Bob Moose. He had a bad game and lost a big playoff game for the Pirates in the mid-70s. And he died tragically in a car accident, very young. Here's Dave McNally. Matty Alou. Mike Cuellar. Here we have autograph Steve Blass. Autograph Jim Bunning. Roberto Clemente. Ernie Banks. Willie Stargell. Bob Gibson. Another Frank Robinson. Another Hank Aaron. Lou Brock. Yaz. Another Brooks Robinson. These were pretty easy to get when I was a kid, so. Tony Perez. It's one of my favorite Perez cards. Jim Palmer. Ted Williams when he was a manager. Tug McGraw. Ron Santo. This is a tough card, actually. So why not have two? Leaders card with Pete Rose there. Orlando Cepeda. Ted Williams giving some hitting lessons. If anybody know how to do it, it'd be him, right? Paul Blair. Rusty Staub. Gil Hodges. Young Reggie Smith. Now this is kind of interesting because this is Roy Face. You can see he's in a Pirates uniform, but they traded him at the end of his career, and this is shows him with the Tigers. Bill Robinson. Dave Justy. Here's an interesting tidbit, and I did another video on it, but this guy here was signed to something like a $200,000 bonus, and because of it, it led to the baseball draft, because they thought that was, unfair or whatever. These bonuses were getting out of hand, so they started a baseball draft. I believe that was 1965, the first draft, and this was the first guy ever drafted in baseball, Rick Monday. Jim Hunter. I'm going to get away from the regular cards now, and I have a whole bunch more. And, because this is a year they had the Deco edges. So they had these Deco edges. There's Pete Rose, but they also had these tests. So that's a Kurt Flood test. It's Maury Wills test. Here's another Pete Rose. There's another Pete Rose. Here's Clemente. And just a great Willie Mays. Got a Yaz. A young Rod Carew. That's the regular Maury Wills. Boog Powell. And thanks to Back to the Cardboard for a recent video where I learned that he got his name Boog from his little sister when they were young because she called him Booger. Never knew that. Or if I did, I forgot. Willie McCovey. Ron Santo. Always one of my favorites was the Denny McLean. Last guy to win 30 games. Big Frank Howard. Willie Horton. Louis Aparicio. Mel Stottlemyre. Rusty Staub. Rick Monday. And who's this guy? El Ferrara. I know the name, but I don't know anything about him. Actually, maybe I should read up on it. Then they also had these decals. So let's show you some of these. So there's a Reggie Jackson, and that would be from his rookie year. Running out of place to put these things. Here's the Mickey Mantle. It's the Tom Seaver. Willie Mays. Pete Rose. Bob Gibson. Yaz. Denny McLean. Willie Horton. Just show you a few more. Clemente there. Clendenin. Carver. Mari Wills. Luis Tiant. Rusty Staub. I'll start there. I got a bunch more. So, we'll move on. We have Joe Rudy. Rico. Wilbur Wood. Got these kind of checklists on here. They did them in 67, 68, and 69. They put players on the checklist. Al Kaline. Here's the Mantle checklist. Brooks Robinson checklist. Tony Oliva checklist. So Juan Marichal. Norm Cash. Don Drysdale. Bill Mazeroski. Tony Oliva. They had these inserts in there as well. Made to look like a newspaper. Had these nice all-star cards. I always liked these. These are pretty readily available to me when I was growing up, and I snagged all the ones I could find that I didn't already have. Mari Wills, when he got traded to the Expos, you can see he's still in a Pirates uniform there. Bert Campaneris. Bobby Mercer. Bobby Tolan. He had a great batting stance. He would hold his hands way up like this. I used to love to watch him hit. Mudcat Grant. You gotta love the airbrushing that Topps did. Lee May. Oop. This box is too big with these. Now this is interesting here coming up. Don Clendenin. So Don Clendenin was the MVP for the Mets, but he didn't even have a Mets card this year. He had two different cards. One showed him with Houston, and the other showed him with the Expos. So he didn't even have a card in '69 that showed him with the Mets. Got another checklist there. I like the checklists. Phil Necro, Davey Johnson, John Blue Moon Odom, Gene Alley, Jose Pagan, Luke Walker. He had a couple good years with the Pirates. He was on, I think he was on the '71 leaders card. And Topps also made a test sticker set this year. And so I'm going to post my Hank Aaron at the end here because I can't find it. It's around here somewhere. So those are my 1969 Topps cards. Thanks for watching.